You watched the documentary, you read the book, you visualized, you affirmed, you believed, and nothing happened. Nothing changed at all. Millions of people tried the secret. Most of them failed. But here's what nobody told you: it wasn't your fault. The secret gave you half the map and called it complete. They showed you the destination but hid the vehicle. As Bob Proctor himself admitted years later, the secret was never meant to be the whole answer. It was meant to be the beginning. Today, we're going to expose the missing pieces, the hidden chapters, the inconvenient truths that the billion-dollar self-help industry didn't want you to know, because the secret didn't fail. You were set up. And by the end of this video, you'll finally understand why your manifestations never materialized, and exactly how to fix it. The missing half. The secret told you that thoughts become things. That's true, but it's only 50% of the equation. Thoughts without action are just fantasies with extra steps. Here's what the documentary conveniently left out: the law of attraction is actually the law of attraction in action. Every single success story featured in The Secret involved people who took massive, consistent action. They didn't just think about wealth. They built businesses, made calls, took risks, failed repeatedly, and kept going. But that part doesn't sell books, does it? It's not sexy to say you need to work. The ancient Hermetic texts that The Secret borrowed from texts that are thousands of years old always included the principle of action. As Hermes Trismegistus taught, as above so below, as within so without, as the universe so the soul. Notice the word so. It implies movement, transformation, doing. Your thoughts plant the seed. Action is the water, the sunlight, the soil. One without the other produces nothing but disappointment. But this is just the beginning of what they hid from you. The belief trap. The Secret told you to believe. Just believe hard enough and the universe will deliver. But here's the problem nobody addresses: you can't fake belief. You cannot fake belief. Your conscious mind might repeat affirmations all day long. I am wealthy. I am successful. I am abundant. But your subconscious mind, the part that actually runs the show, isn't buying it. Neuroscience has shown that 95% of your behavior comes from subconscious programming. And that programming was installed during your first 7 years of life. Every time your parents said money doesn't grow on trees, that got coded. Every time you heard rich people are greedy, that became a belief. Every struggle you witnessed around finances created a neural pathway that says wealth equals pain. So when you try to consciously believe in abundance, your subconscious throws up a wall. It rejects the new programming like a virus. As psychologist Bruce Lipton explains, the subconscious mind is 1,000,000 times more powerful than the conscious mind. You're not failing because you don't want it enough. You're failing because you're fighting a battle against your own wiring. And speaking of wiring, what they told you about emotions was dangerously incomplete. Toxic positivity. Stay positive. Good vibes only. Don't let negative thoughts enter your mind. The Secret made positivity sound like the ultimate solution, but it created something far worse: toxic positivity. The suppression of real human emotions. Here's what actually happens when you force positivity. Every emotion you suppress doesn't disappear. It gets stored. In your body, in your nervous system, in the tension in your shoulders and the knot in your stomach. Carl Jung warned us about this over a century ago. What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size. When you shame yourself for feeling fear, doubt, or sadness, you're not raising your vibration. You're creating internal warfare. Your negative emotions aren't blocking your manifestations. Your refusal to feel them is. The universe doesn't respond to fake happiness. It responds to authentic alignment. And authentic alignment means feeling everything: the good, the bad, the uncomfortable, and choosing your focus anyway. Feel everything, choose wisely. This is the emotional intelligence The Secret completely ignored. But there's another piece that's even more damaging, and it has to do with timing. The time lie. The Secret implied that once you align your thoughts, the universe delivers quickly, sometimes instantly. Remember those stories: people finding checks in the mail, parking spots appearing, dream jobs calling out of nowhere. It made manifestation seem like magic. But here's the truth they buried: most significant manifestations take time. Sometimes years, sometimes decades. The overnight successes you see took 10 years of overnight work. The universe doesn't operate on your timeline. It operates on the timeline of your growth. Every delay isn't a denial, it's preparation. As the ancient Stoic philosopher Seneca observed, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. Your manifestation might be ready, but are you? Have you developed the skills to maintain it, the character to handle it, the capacity to receive it? Most people quit right before the breakthrough because the secret made them believe it should have happened already. Patience. That word was never emphasized. Patience isn't passive waiting. It's active trust while continuing to do the work. But even if you have patience, there's still something that can sabotage everything, and it's hiding in plain sight. Identity crisis. You can want something desperately. You can visualize it perfectly. You can feel the emotions of having it, and still never receive it. Why? Because you don't believe you're the kind of person who has it. Your identity determines your reality. The secret focused on what you want. It should have focused on who you are. Every result in your life is a reflection of who you believe yourself to be. If you see yourself as someone who struggles with money, you'll unconsciously create struggle. If you identify as someone who gets rejected in relationships, you'll attract rejection. Your brain is constantly filtering reality to match your self-concept. It's called the reticular activating system. It finds evidence for whatever you believe about yourself. As the philosopher William James put it, the greatest discovery of my generation is that human beings can alter their lives by altering their attitudes of mind. But altering your attitude is surface level. You need to alter your identity. You don't get what you want, you get who you are. The question isn't what do I want to have. The question is who do I need to become? And becoming requires something the secret never mentioned: shadow work. You cannot build a mansion on a cracked foundation. And most people trying to manifest abundance are standing on decades of unprocessed trauma. The secret never mentioned shadow work. Your shadow is the part of yourself you've rejected, the wounds you've buried, the parts you're ashamed of. And here's the uncomfortable truth: until you integrate your shadow, your manifestations will always be sabotaged. A person who was taught they don't deserve love will unconsciously destroy every relationship that gets too good. Someone who was told success makes you selfish will self-sabotage every time they get close to their goals. This isn't conscious. It's the shadow protecting you from a threat that no longer exists. Carl Jung spent his entire career studying this. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. That thing you call bad luck. That pattern of almost getting what you want and losing it. That's not the universe punishing you. It's your shadow running the show. The secret promised you could bypass the inner work and jump straight to results. That's not manifestation. That's spiritual bypassing. But even shadow work isn't enough without understanding this next piece. Nervous system. Your body has a comfort zone. Not just your mind, your actual nervous system. And it will fight to keep you where you are. This is called your window of tolerance. When you try to expand beyond it, whether toward more success, more love, or more abundance, your nervous system interprets the expansion as danger. Your heart races. Your palms sweat. You feel anxious for no apparent reason. And then you unconsciously retreat back to familiar territory. This is why lottery winners go broke. Why people leave amazing relationships. Why some sabotage their careers right before breakthrough. Their nervous system couldn't handle the upgrade. As trauma expert Peter Levine explains, trauma is not what happens to us, but what we hold inside in the absence of an empathetic witness. The secret told you to think bigger, but your body needs to learn to hold bigger. This requires nervous system regulation, breathwork, somatic practices, gradually expanding your capacity to feel good. Expand your capacity to receive. You cannot manifest a life your body isn't prepared to live. And this brings us to perhaps the most controversial truth of all: inspired action. The secret briefly mentioned inspired action, but it never explained what that actually means. And the misunderstanding of this concept has paralyzed millions of people. Inspired action is not waiting until you feel like doing something. It's not sitting on your couch until the universe sends you a sign. That's procrastination. Inspired action is action taken from alignment. It's movement that feels like a pull rather than a push. But here's what they didn't tell you. Sometimes the action doesn't feel inspired until after you start. Newton's first law applies to manifestation too. A body at rest stays at rest. A body in motion stays in motion. Sometimes you have to force the first step, and then the inspiration follows. As Picasso famously said, inspiration exists, but it has to find you working. The universe responds to commitment. When you take action despite fear, despite uncertainty, despite not feeling ready, that's when doors open. Action creates clarity, not the reverse. Waiting for perfect inspiration is waiting forever. Start messy. Start scared. Start before you're ready. The path reveals itself to those who walk, but even action won't save you if you're missing this fundamental piece. Attachment trap. Here's the paradox that The Secret never resolved. You need to want something strongly enough to pursue it, but you need to release it completely to receive it. Attachment is the silent killer of manifestation. When you're desperate for an outcome, you emit a frequency of lack. You're essentially telling the universe, I don't have this and I need it badly. And the universe, being a mirror, reflects that lack right back at you. The ancient Buddhists understood this. Attachment is the root of all suffering, but detachment doesn't mean not caring. It means caring about the outcome while being at peace without it. It means taking action toward your goals while trusting that whatever happens is for your highest good. This is the hardest part of manifestation, because your ego wants to grip tightly to specific outcomes, specific timelines, specific ways things should unfold. Surrender the how, trust the what. Your job is to be clear on what you want and why you want it. The universe handles the how and when. Trying to control those is like trying to control the wind. And this leads us to the final missing piece, the one that changes everything, the real secret. After everything we've discussed, here's what it all comes down to. The real secret isn't attraction, it's transformation. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are. Every technique, every tool, every principle, they're not magic spells to get things. They're instruments for becoming someone new. Someone who naturally receives what they desire because they've become the frequency of that desire. Neville Goddard, the true master of manifestation, put it perfectly. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Not think about it, not visualize it. Assume it, become it, live from the end. When you truly embody the person who already has what you want, the external reality has no choice but to reorganize itself to match. Reality follows identity, not the reverse. The Secret gave you a map with missing pieces. Today, you receive the complete picture. Do the shadow work. Regulate your nervous system. Take aligned action. Release attachment. And most importantly, become the person you need to be. The universe isn't withholding your desires. It's waiting for you to become ready to receive them. And now you have everything you need. The Secret wasn't wrong. It was incomplete. A starting point sold as the destination. A half-truth packaged as the whole answer. But now you know better. You understand that manifestation isn't just about thinking, it's about becoming. It requires you to heal your past, rewire your beliefs, regulate your body, take aligned action, and release your grip on outcomes. We do not attract what we want, but what we are. This is the path less traveled. The path that actually works. It's not as easy as sitting on your couch visualizing checks in the mail, but it's real, and it leads somewhere. Your new story starts now. The question isn't whether the secret works. The question is, are you willing to do what actually works? Because the universe is always listening. The universe is always responding. And now, for the first time, you're finally speaking its language. If this video shifted something in you, subscribe for more. Share this with someone still stuck in the trap. Your thoughts become things, but only when you become the thinker worthy of them. Stay aligned. Stay abundant.